Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Soy Miguel Miranda de Match 99.3 en la Ciudad de México y el día de hoy estoy emocionadísimo porque me atrevo a decir que es una tarde de leyendas. Estoy muy emocionado de platicar con Dean Wareham, líder de una de las bandas más importantes en la historia de la música. No lo digo yo, lo dice la historia. Hablo nada más y nada menos que Galaxy 500. Estoy muy emocionado de platicar con Dean el día de hoy. Dean, I'm so excited to talk with you today. I've been talking about your work as a musician, and I say that you're a legend in the music industry.
I heard that. I don't really speak Spanish, but legenda, whatever you said, I made that out. Thank you very much. That means I'm old.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for being here. I'm so excited to talk with you today about your show on Festival Marvin. Is this your first time in Mexico City? No.
I was here in 1975 as a child. I was 11 years old.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, I was here as a tourist. I came with my parents. I'm originally from New Zealand. So anyway, and then we lived in Australia, and then we took a boat from Sydney to Acapulco, and we drove to Mexico City and spent a few days here, and then went on to Los Angeles. So.
Did you remember something about the city on those days?
I remember the trip to the pyramids, because we went out there and they were filming in this cop show. With Dennis Weave, and the name of it escapes me. It's about a cop for a policeman from Texas who moves to New York City. God, it'll come to me anyway. Anyway, they were filming, and we were so excited because I got to see him. I remember sitting in the but that's what I remember.
Then I want to ask you something about your life. How do you feel in this time of your life with your work?
Yeah, I feel good. It's an interesting time. I just read this book by this guy like Jeff Dyer about artists getting old. It's called The Last Days of Roger Federer, and it's talking sort of about your later period and what artists do to it. And I moved to Los Angeles about 7 years ago, and I didn't make a record for I didn't write any new songs for about 7 years. And then the pandemic hit, and then I wrote one that I'm really proud of, that I'm really happy with. So that was nice to see that I could still do it.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I mean, it's it's pretty cool with Galaxy 500. What does you say, Galaxy 500, right?
Yeah.
To see that it's bigger than ever, which is a surprise, I think. We had no idea when we were making records in 1988 that one day we would look back and let's put them up against the other records that came out in 1988, 1989, 1990, and think like, you know what? These are some of the best records that were made then. So that's the way I feel anyway.
What have you learned about the music and the life in general on your career?
What have I learned about music? I'm supposed to give a talk tomorrow about songwriting, and it's interesting. I think I have to do this talk about it, and I feel like it's such a mysterious and magical thing. Songwriting that so journalists are always asking musicians to explain the music, but the problem is we don't know. It's, at least for me, because I haven't studied it. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess I've learned many little things, but I don't
like what?
Well. Sometimes, if you're in a recording studio, here's an example. That sometimes your first idea is your best idea, and sometimes
that's a good one.
Yeah, it takes you a while to learn that because I've worked with people who think, you need to work and work and work and work and keep good cheap. I'm like, no. And then you go back and you're like, you know what? That thing I played on the first day, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
That was the first idea in my brain.
Yeah, the first take, maybe it's the most authentic take on a recording or something like that, no?
Yes. And another friend of mine was saying that, this word demo, you make a demo of something. He's like, well, in a way, maybe the demo is going to be the best version of that song that ever existed. And maybe it isn't. Maybe it is, but you have to be alive to that possibility.
What do you think about the music industry in 2022?
Yeah, it's weird. It's the one thing you learn, I suppose, is that you think you know the music industry, and then 5 years later, it's completely different. So, and that goes from the very beginning, when we started out, it was just indie labels. And then 5 years later, all the major labels was in the 90s, was snapping up. We had the era of the compact disc era, the most profitable era of the music business ever. And then that seemed to completely end, and you think, oh, it's all dead. But now, once again, we're seeing, well, not so much for us, but at the top, you're seeing immense profits, huge profits for these big, for Sony Music and Warner and Universal and the publishers. Unfortunately, as with most things in this world of ours, those huge benefits go to the people at the very top.
Yeah.
But some people will tell you the internet destroyed everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I am not one of those people. So I think, it made something. Obviously, it destroyed the value of it destroyed our ability to sell physical music.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it enhanced our ability to connect with fans, all over the world, without having to be signed to a label, without having to, by social media or whatever. If you have a following, you can get the word out, and you can go play live, and I can go to Sweden, or just it's nice to think that you can put out music and someone can quickly access it halfway around the world, instead of maybe praying that they'll be able to track down a copy of your album that costs $40,
Yeah, it's like a 50-50. You got the good and the evil side of the music industry and the internet.
Yeah.
Now, we want to know how was your days with Rough Trade Records, for example?
Oh, it was great. They were great. It was exciting for us, and we signed to Rough Trade because they just made us a nice reasonable offer for three records. They weren't not 7 records, and they didn't want to steal our publishing, and then we went over to England. And things happen so quickly. Things happen so quickly in England. That's why so many bands try to break there first, even if it's not the biggest country. It's very important because people read that press. It goes all around to the rest of the world, and anyway, we were just shocked. Our first gig in London, we were like, oh my God, there's like 400 people here. Whereas in Boston, maybe we were playing to 75 people. We weren't really that, like Galaxy 5. We're not so popular in Boston. I think that's often the case. A band that's really popular in their hometown is not popular anywhere else.
Yeah.
Live band, and a band that's people don't appreciate in their hometown is discovered somewhere else.
Yeah,
but yeah, Rough Trade were great, and then Galaxy 500 broke up when I left the band, and then. A month later, Rough Trade filed for bankruptcy, so the whole thing kind of fell apart.
Yeah, a lot of people, including me, we know about Rough Trade about your and your band, and that's I think that it talk a lot about your role on the sello, the music industry. I don't know how to
Right,
say
right.
this. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Then, do you have any regrets about it or about some time of your life?
You know what? It's all worked out. I mean, I regret how it ended in Galaxy 500. I regret that maybe that we didn't have a manager, maybe who would explain some things to us. You know, because I think oftentimes you start a band with your friends, and you don't discuss the business thing, like who's doing what, you know, until almost it's too late, until it's a problem and egos get involved and people are like, well, what do you mean you did this, I did this, you know. So you have to realize going in, it's an art form and it's a friendship and it's also a business, and it's hard to maintain friendship and be in business together. I mean, not just in music, anybody who does like a tech startup will tell you the same thing.
Yeah. Talking about in a personal way, what do you think about the ego in a band?
Well, everyone has ego.
Yeah.
I suppose. I mean, when the band broke up, the other two in the band said, "Oh, Dean's got a huge ego." I actually don't think that's true at all. I don't know. I'm a middle child. I don't think, and I think, I don't know. I think the people in Luna wouldn't say that I had a. I don't think of myself as like one of the greats or anything. So I don't know. Britta says I don't think of. She's been in bands with people with much bigger egos with me than me. She says so.
Yeah.
But and maybe. I don't know, maybe when you're starting out, you need to have some ego. It takes some ego to be a writer, doesn't it? I mean, or whether of song or poems or of books, to say like, oh, here's this thing that I did, you should listen to it, or you should, and certainly when you're like 23 or 24 and you're starting a band, you have to be a little bit arrogant, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. And
that's
then
okay. Yeah. And then, I don't know. Maybe you have to keep being arrogant. I don't know. I suppose I'm very opinionated. That's true about music. So, I mean, I hate most music, but
what kind of music?
No, I'm saying I don't hate any genre. I would just say like 95% of jazz is bad, but 98% of rock music is bad too. But so you find the good stuff.
And what about the what about the new bands? Do you like something? Or?
Oh yeah. I listen to a lot of new stuff. So, and always when people ask me that, I forget what I forget. There's this band from Los Angeles now, Dummy. Have you heard them?
Yeah.
Dummy. I really like them. That's one band. So I try and listen to new music.
What kind of music? Rock or in general music?
I guess that's rock, isn't it? But I sometimes listen to rock. Sometimes I listen to Beethoven. I don't know.
Yeah. Now
depends on the weather. So sometimes I listen to I don't know, Katy Perry. Not very often, but do I like Katy Perry? On the right song, yes. I think with all of those artists on the right song, they can be really good. So. And then a lot of I think she's funny, actually. I think she's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, we got a lot of music for the different kind of moods that we are going into it.
Yes.
Finally, I want to ask you something about your present and your past. If you could back in time and do something else different in your work or your life in general, what would it be?
If I could go back in time. Well, there's certainly maybe a few decisions I regret, like, we were signed to Beggar's Banquet. I think the way that ended badly. Things always end badly, don't they? When they end badly. But I think I was a little impatient with them, and I don't know. The older I get, I guess, I feel like I look back and I look at everyone I've worked with, whether it's indie labels or major labels or managers, and I just think like, you know what? when you start doing that work yourself as an artist, then you realize how hard people were working for you, and you really appreciate what they did, that they got up and they went into these jobs and they went into work and they made phone calls on your behalf, whatever. So,
yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure I answered your question, but that's okay.
No. I get it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We want to talk about your show in Mexico. How do you feel with it? Are you excited? Obviously, but
I am excited. 2 shows. So the first night, Friday night, I'm playing a Galaxy 500 set of Galaxy 500 songs, and then the second night is just a set of Luna with Luna.
Wow.
My second night, and Luna. I'm trying to think. We played Tijuana in 1993 maybe, opening for the Screaming Trees. That's our only gig. And so it's ridiculous that it's taken us this long. And we can tell by looking at our Spotify statistics that actually we do pretty well.
Yeah.
In Mexico. So we're thrilled to be here.
Yeah. And we're so excited about these performances because I said it before, you are a legend in the music industry. I have to say it. And we're so excited about your shows. I hope you enjoy Mexico, and I hope you enjoy the festival Marvin. It's a great festival to discover new music, indie music, and I don't know how to say this. Meet your heroes. Talk about music.
All right.
I did it today.
Okay, thank you so much. That's very nice.
Thanks so much, Dean.
All right.
Nice to meet you. See you.
Maybe I'll run into you somewhere at the festival. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay.
Gracias a todos. Miguel Miranda de Match 99.3, Dean Wareham acá en la casa. Esto es parte de lo que podremos vivir en el Festival Marvin este fin de semana, así que no se lo pierdan. Hasta la próxima. Capi fuera.
Just my rifle, my pony, and me. Gone